What's going on, TW fans? Jake here, bringing you this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. A lot of crazy weather going on around the country. Hopefully everyone's staying safe. Hopefully you're getting a chance to get out there and do a little bit of fishing while you can. All right, let's jump into some rods and reels right out of the gate. We got all the new American Hero Tier 1 stuff here from Lew's. So first off is the new Lew's American Hero Tier 1. This is a really cool reel. So as you can see the cosmetics on this thing, it's hydro dipped in a multi-cam camouflage on the outside. It looks really cool, but on the inside and the outside, aluminum body, aluminum spool. It's got a 10 bearing system, 95mm handle over here on the side. Got the combat knobs and combat grip on the thumb bar right there. Really sweet reel. It's got the magnetic brake system right there on the side, excuse me. Super easy to adjust. If you've ever had a Lew's reel in the past, you don't have to like open it up and mess with a bunch of stuff. You can just make a quick adjustment right there. So if you're casting into the wind or you want to make like a longer cast, super easy to adjust it. Speed keeper system right there on the side. Really nice reel, comes in at 179 bucks. And then you can also match that up with their American Hero Tier 1 series of rods. So we do have casting and spinning reels and casting and spinning rods throughout the line. There's 5 different models, pretty much got everything covered, you know, besides like they have everything covered with like a, you know, jig rod, cranking rod, you know, finesse spinning rod, pretty much everything you would need to go out and cover most of the techniques out there. On the rods, HM50 high modulus graphite blanks, really light and sensitive. Down here on the reel seat, so they did a skeletal reel seat, and then they did their vibration transfer ring, as you can see right there between the reel seat and this EVA foam grip. So it's like a piece of carbon that's on there. It's connected right there to the blank, so it makes this rod way more sensitive. So it's just gonna help that vibration, you know, come down to the blank and right into your hand. You'll be able to feel more subtle bites and feel those really small changes in the bottom. It's got the same graphic design on there, so when you match it up with that Tier 1 series of rod, it's a slick looking rod and reel combo. And like I said, you can get it in casting and spinning. Up on the guides, stainless steel guides with aluminum oxide inserts on there, so they're really tough, strong. Awesome series of rods. And Lew's is also donating a portion of the profits from this series to veterans to help out veterans recover and help get more veterans out there in the outdoors. So a really cool thing that Lew's is doing with the American Hero series. All right, let's go into some soft plastics. We got some pretty cool ones here. So from Zoom, didn't know this thing was coming in, and super stoked when the package came through and we saw this this new kind of hybrid bait from Zoom. So this is the new Zoom Brush Craw. So basically you're getting kind of a hybrid. You're getting that the brush hog body, which we all know the Zoom brush hog has been out for years and years, and it's caught, you know, hundreds of thousands of fish. Just one of the greatest creature baits of all time. Now you're getting that brush hog body, but instead of the curly tails down here on the end, you're getting 2 kind of more realistic craw pinchers. And what that's going to do for you, one, just give you a different profile. It still has that big, large, you know, that large presentation that the brush hog is known for, so it triggers a lot of big bites. It's a full-size meal, but instead of the curly tails on there, you're gonna get a little bit more subtle action. So maybe those times where you don't want that kicking action, like the traditional brush hog, this one's gonna be a little bit more subtle. You can thread this on a jig, you can throw it on a Texas rig, a Carolina rig, a shaky head. I mean, brush hog possibilities are pretty much limitless. Now, this one is gonna just tone that action down a little bit and give you a little bit more realistic profile, just something different. Throw in the arsenal, add to your brush hog style soft plastics. The next one, another really cool soft plastics from Missile Baits. This is the Missile Baits Spunk Shad. So if it looks familiar, it's the exact mold as a hog farmer Spunk Shad. So Missile Baits licensed the mold from Hog Farmer, and they wanted to pour some of their own colors in the Spunk Shad. The Spunk Shad is one of the most successful baits that we've had in a long time. You can do a ton of different stuff with it, but it really excels on your vibrating jigs. So it has that nice bulky body, you know, so it adds some weight up there on your vibrating jig. And it moves a lot of water because all those ribs on here, but it comes down to this small kind of pin tail. It does have a little fork in it, but there's no resistance back there on that tail. So when that vibrating jig gets going, this thing moves and wiggles and skirts all over the place. It's a really cool trailer. You can also fish it just like how you would with like a fluke style bait. You can throw on a scrounger. We heard John Crew say a lot of guys are even throw this on a Carolina rig. One of my favorite things to do is, yeah, throw small little bait fish style plastics on a Carolina rig. Kind of an underutilized technique, but now you can get this Spunk Shad in some of the really cool missile bait colors. This one here that I'm holding is the Goby Bite, and it also comes in 2 different sizes. All right, we're gonna go into some hard baits. We got a whole bunch of stuff from Mach Baits. It's one of Luz's sister brands. So from Mach, we have the new Slack Jaw Lipless Crankbait. Now, taking this thing out of the package, it's pretty unique and just a little bit different than some of the other liplesses on the market. Pretty cool design. It does have a loud rattle system in it. And then up here on the lip, it's got a unique lip. It's got that metal lip so you can kind of tick it off stuff and you're gonna get a little bit more sensitivity out of it. But most importantly, up at the top, it's got a dual line tie system. So you can move the split ring from the front to the back, and you can kind of change the action for the different situations that you're in. So if you're fishing shallow and you want the tighter vibration, you can have it run tighter when you're fishing through grass. But if you're fishing deeper and you want a slower vibration, maybe for yo-yoing, on deep ledges, off points or something like that, you can switch the different line ties and get a different action out of it. So just a cool design that Mach incorporated into their lipless crankbait. And right out of the package, just like all the other Mach baits, they come stock right out of the package with KVD Mustad triple grip hooks on them. So no need to upgrade anything right out of the package. The next one, one that I'm super interested to try actually. So this is the new Mach Shad swim bait. So it's a really small 3-inch swim bait, multi-segmented body. So it gets a really cool, really natural swimming action with the multi-joint on there. Where I think this is gonna excel is, during those times where maybe everyone's throwing a small jig head and a little swim bait trailer. This is gonna be something different. It's still that small profile. It's only a 3-inch bait, relatively small. It looks just like a little thread fin, but gonna be great for those times when you have clear water and maybe when everyone's on that little swim bait bite. This is something different and it looks more realistic and it's gonna get that great swimming action. And you can also fish it at any speed. So if you wanna fish it up shallow, maybe near the surface, you can burn it or you can fish it along the bottom at a really, really slow crawl and it maintains that swimming action no matter what speed. So that's a really cool design in there as well. Triple grip hooks, just like all the other ones in the Mach lineup. The last one we got here is the new Spray and Shad popper. So we got a chrome one. Love having a little chrome popper with a red lip on it. What's unique about this popper is you can see right here on the mouth, it's kind of got some cutouts that go through the mouth and out the bottom of the gills, and it allows more water to flow through the bait. And what that's gonna do for you is not only is it gonna pop and spray water out the front, it's gonna create a pretty aggressive bubble trail behind the popper. So not every popper is good about leaving that real big bubble trail behind it for kind of fish to follow and kind of hone in on the bait. This is gonna do it for you. So really cool popper. I know it's a little early for topwater season, but before you know it, some of you guys are gonna be reaching for those poppers and topwater baits for that post-spawn season before you know it. All right, we got some jigs here. Jigs, jig heads, all kinds of stuff. So from Dale Hollow, we got a bunch of different jigs. So if you're familiar with the old Punisher jigs and all the Punisher lures, that's what all these are. They've been bought by Dale Hollow and rebranded, but still they have a bunch of the same stuff that Punisher was really known for. I just wanted to grab a couple of them just to kind of highlight a few, but there is a whole lineup of small hair jigs, floating flies, regular jigs, jig heads, even scent. So there's a whole lineup of stuff from Dale Hollow you're gonna wanna go check out that's really gonna excel in kind of this winter cold weather fishing. So this first one here is their small jaw shaky jig. This is a really cool jig just because the fact of all the work that's gone into it. So it's a really unique head shape. So it wedges through, I think it's a peanut head shape is what they call it. So it works its way through cover really, really well. And then it has a hand-tied living rubber skirt. So it's living rubber. There's a few strands of silicone on there just to give a little bit of a pop, but that living rubber does really well, especially when you have to fish slow and you have some more clear water, cold water. That living rubber just moves constantly. Just a little bit of water movement gets that skirt to move much better than silicone material. So these are really good in that cold water scenario when you really have to slow down to trigger a bite. All their skirts are also hand tied with a piece of red thread just to give that added little pop of color on there, maybe mimic some type of wounded forage. It's got a mustad hook on there and then a triple wire, brush guard. So you can kind of adjust that however you need to for the style of cover that you're fishing through. The next one we got here is their Aspirin head hair jig. Really cool hair jig. This one's actually hand tied with craft fur. So that craft fur maintains its action no matter what the water temperature. So if you're up north and you are fishing that really cold water, I mean, a lot of the guys up north have been fishing hair jigs for a long, long time, and that's why they fish them, because in that cold water, this stuff moves and creates that natural action when rubber and silicone will just stick together. So you need that hair in certain situations. That aspirin head, it helps it sink really fast, and then it gives this bait kind of a unique wobble side to side versus a jig with just a standard ball head. Up top, we actually have a Gamakatsu hook on this model, so nice little jig, nice little hair jig. And then one that actually made Punisher super popular, one that Dale Hollow brought back in the lineup, is their float and fly jig. So really nice float and fly jig. We have them in the regular, you know, hand-tied hair, and then we have duck feather as well. So two different options for you there. This is one of the best things you can be fishing right now. If you're in an area where you can fish in these cold, you know, January, early February months, the float and fly is a deadly, deadly technique. They have bobbers for you as well. If you need the whole outfit put for bobbers and doing all the float and fly stuff. So these little guys, when the water's really, really cold and the fish are suspended, these float and flies are deadly. If you've never tried it out, highly recommend trying it out during these cold water seasons. It's especially good on the spotted bass. They got some really nice colors. They got mustad hooks on these as well, but just a deadly technique that is excellent during this time of the year. And then if you're looking for some scent to outfit on everything, they actually have their new Dale Hollow Dopefish scent. So they got it in a few flavors, I believe Craw, garlic, and shad. It's made with a combination of scent flavor, salt, and slime. So it not only does it give that scent to your baits, it's also going to put that texture on it, that kind of slimy, you know, bait fish kind of texture. So when the fish grab onto it, it's not only going to taste natural to them, it's going to feel more natural as well. And then it comes in the nice little, you know, push stick, so it's easy to apply, and you're not really going to make a whole big mess. So nice scent there from Dale Hollow. All right, from Taddo, we got this really cool little jig head. This is the Maverick Swimbait Head. Now, when it came in, we were checking it out, and just the design of this thing, this is gonna be deadly for a bunch of different techniques. So, up here on the line tie is situated a little bit farther back than you would typically get on most of your little swimmer heads. So it's the way it sits super far back and has most of the weight forward on here. You can do a couple different things with it that's different than most of the other small swim bait heads on the market. So this is gonna be really good for demichi rigging and vertical jigging. So if you're cruising around, maybe you're doing live sonar or just 2D and there's fish right below you and you wanna drop straight down and jig it right in front of their face, that line tie right there will keep your bait in a more horizontal position, and it's not gonna tip down or tip up like that with your bait on there and not look natural. So it's gonna keep your soft plastic perfectly horizontal. And then it's also balanced. You can cast and retrieve it, no problem. So you can throw it out. You can wind your little favorite soft plastic bait on there, no problems. It's got a double barb keeper. And then the hook, super unique about the hook, it's actually a 2.5/0. And then it has a really deep barb on it. So this thing penetrates and keeps fish pinned. One of the coolest little swim bait heads I've seen in a long, long time. All right, got a couple accessories for you here. From Rod Glove, we got the new Tournament Series rod gloves. So if you're picking up a new rod, you want to protect it, these are really, really nice. So their Tournament Series is made out of a neoprene material. And these just protect your rods a little bit better than the standard woven mesh. I've picked up quite a few of these over the years to kind of protect my more high-end rods. With this Tournament Series, they do have quite a bit of a tapered design on them. So that makes it a little bit easier to get them into the rod lockers of certain boats. If you get a bunch of the older neoprene ones that are square all the way to the end, they're bulky and they don't get in and out of the boat as easily as this design will. And then you got the adjustable tether on the end, so you can slide this down to your reel, kind of adjust it, keep it tight, and you don't have to worry about your rod sleeves sliding up and down, making a mess, getting tangled in all your hooks. You can kind of keep it in a more secure fashion. That's the Tournament Series rod glove. All right, last up, we got a new tackle bag from Aftco. Move this stuff out of the way here. So we got a whole new series of tackle bags from Aftco. These are really, really nice tackle bags. If I already didn't have something to fit this bill, I'd be looking at this thing real hard. Actually, one of our guys in the office already bought one before we can put it back into stock after taking the images of it. So this is the 3700 size. They also got a 36 and 3500 size. So this is the biggest of the three models. What's cool about, this tackle bag. It's a high quality, heavy duty polyester material, fully sealed seams on the bottom, but on the inside, it's got this adjustable divider system. So it comes with the little shelves, and then you can put them in there, but you can run as many as you want. So maybe on the bottom you want to run a 3700 deep. You don't have to run the bottom shelf, or maybe you only want to run 2 boxes and leave the top open for maybe bags of soft plastics or something like that. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. So that's a really cool section of it. There's the customizable bottom portion of it. Then on top, it's got a large open container on the top, so you can throw your bags of soft plastics in there, or our buyer Brown puts his hoagie in there. On the outside, we got some more outside pockets as well. Got plier organizers on there. Got a spot to put your name so no one takes your bag or you know whose it is. Shoulder strap, really cool tackle bag. Like I said, we got 3 different sizes, so if you need that 3500 size, maybe a little trout bag, crappie bag, just a little go bag, or you can go up to the full size 3700. It'd be great co-angler bag. You can fit everything you would need as a co-angler for a tournament in this thing. It holds a lot of stuff. That's gonna wrap up today's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. For more information or to purchase anything seen here today, click shop or link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments which one of these products you're most excited about.